right, guys, it's September 18th, 2024. I'm Dave Rubin. This is the Rubin Report. As always, live streaming on Rumble, YouTube, and Locals. There will be no post-game show today because we have to do a slightly abbreviated show because I am live at 11:45 a.m. Eastern with Megyn Kelly over on her show. So we're going to speed through this one. We got a big one for you at the last second. We were like, do we need to drop any of this? But I'm going to be as focused as possible so we can get to it all. The theme of today's show is that the Democrats are censorious lunatics led by an evil snake person named Gavin Newsom, who's doing some stuff in California that I am not happy about, but has been long predicted. And yes, it involves going against the First Amendment, stamping down on free speech, and a bunch more. And then we will connect why they're trying to silence a bunch of people. I think it's fairly obvious because their policies are not very good. So let's just jump right into it. So Gavin Newsom yesterday signed one of the most authoritarian bills. I don't think it will stand up in court, and eventually we'll get to the Supreme Court, but one of the most authoritarian bills I've ever heard of. Here's the tweet from old lizard guy. I just signed a bill to make this illegal in the state of California. You can no longer knowingly distribute an ad or other election communications that contain materially deceptive content, including deep fakes. Now, let's jump back for a second and just so we can show you where this came from. You may remember this from back in July. We did show you this. Here's another tweet from Gavin Newsom. Manipulating a voice in an ad like this one should be illegal. I'll be signing a bill in a matter of weeks to make sure it is. So he did, in fact, sign this bill. As I said, it's going to be changed in the courts. Now, we can have all sorts of conversations about deepfakes and AI stuff and the confusions that are coming along and the bots and the trolls, and there is an information war and all of those things. That is a legit conversation to have. But if you think, Gavin Newsom, that you can create laws that will stop people from using technology, you are very, very wrong. Like, you are just beyond wrong. And yes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So I know your intentions are not good, but if there is someone watching this that is like, Gavin Newsom's intentions are good, we don't want to confuse people about election stuff. It's like, dude, we end up in a horrible place anyway. Now, of course, what this really is about in some ways with him is that he's targeting Elon Musk, because what brought this all about was Elon Musk tweeted out this video. This video was not created by Elon. He tweeted this video out in July. It got millions of views. And tell me when you're watching it, do you think this is real or perhaps obviously parody? And do you think the real question is, do you think this should be illegal?
I, Kamala Harris, and your Democrat candidate for president, because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time.
Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
You know, I think you're all thinking the same thing, which is, it's ironic because although that is obviously parody, there is less misinformation right there. There is less shenanigans and fakery right there than in a normal Kamala Harris ad, right? But the real question is, should you not be allowed to do that? Should the state make it illegal for people to edit videos like that? Again, are there issues about having AI deep-faked videos and the confusion that could lead to? Of course. But do you think the state should stop allowing some kid in his room from creating funny viral videos? Obviously, the answer is no, unless you're an evil snake person like Gavin Newsom. Elon's original response to Gavin when he tweeted this out, that he was going to sign this into law way back when, Elon said, "I checked with renowned world authority Professor Sugan D's nuts, and he said parody is legal in America." Now, we found a video, and you'll have to help me with this one. This is a video that went viral a while back, and I'm a little unclear if this type of video, you may remember this, it was Newsom and his buddy Justin Trudeau, they were together. And I just don't know. I'm gonna have to get the legal team on this in Cali, the Rubin Report legal team that we keep on retainer in California, if this would lead to someone being put in jail.
Hey, I'm Justin Trudeau, and I'm so excited to be here because I'm in California with another lizard person. He's a lizard person just like me, and I'm here with him in California, which he's turned into a communist shithole, just like I'm trying to do to Canada. We're both World Economic Forum stooges, but we have really nice suits. Look at our suits. And look at his hair. I just love him so much. Oh, look at him. Look at you. I'm Gavin Newsom. Look at me. I smile when I'm talking. So people think I'm a nice guy, but actually I eat babies. Yes, I do. I love them. They're delicious, and I'm always eating them. And then I use their blood as gel in my hair. It's very exciting for a guy like me. And I'm very happy to be here with Justin Trudeau, who is so evil that makes me look like a good man. Yes, isn't it true, Justin? Yes, it is true. Yo, you're just so cute. I just love you so much. Think about all of the people we could lock in their homes and freeze their bank accounts. It's very exciting for both of us. I'm so happy about it. Aren't you happy about it, Gav? It's just, yeah. Oh, yeah, love it.
All right, people will never believe this. Connor, you are the only person. I may have to have you sign an affidavit on this thing. I did that in one take, okay? That was live in one take. But the point is, should I be thrown in jail now? I think, were we in California at the time of that one? We were in Cali for that? Oh, no, it was here. I think it was here. It was right after we had moved. But had I done that in California, I'd have Gavin Newsom's goons at my door trying to take me out. Here's video of Gavin after he signed this bill. He's very proud of himself.
There are a lot of deepfakes out there. There's not a lot of disclosure. There's not a lot of labeling. So among the many AI bills that are on the desk are three specific election-related bills.
And then do you want to sign some laws?
And I don't know. I just thought, why waste your time with a politician unless they're going to do something for you? There's two.
Two are signed, and three are signed.
And this is now official. That is now injunctive relief if you do any of those deepfake election misrepresentations. So that's how easy it is to govern in California.
Why waste your time with the politician unless they're going to do something for you? That is so freaking evil. How about a politician that gets the government off our backs and protects the Constitution of the United States, which is exactly what you're attacking by doing this? And if you think, you're so fun, if you think by signing this thing, I'm Gavin Lizard Person, I'll sign this in human blood. If you think that this is going to stop anything, you are completely wrong. And again, this will get up to the Supreme Court and they will battle it out there. Anyway, Elon saw that he did sign this and he tweeted this. The governor of California just made this parody video, the video we just showed you, illegal in violation of the Constitution of the United States. Would be a shame if it went viral. So yes, it went viral all over again, as you can see right there when he tweeted out. It already had almost 11 million views. But it is not just Gavin Newsom. The Democrats have realized that free speech is a problem because everything that they say is a lie, and I would say at this point, is specifically targeting all of our freedoms. So they would like to take away our freedoms. Do we have any evidence that there might be somebody else who wants to be vice president perhaps doing that sort of thing? Here's Tim Walz just a day or two, no wait, this one's from July, right? This one's from July, talking about free speech, and I'm not a seventh grader who just took social studies class, but I think he's getting this thing wrong.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Yes, there is. You got that completely wrong. Supreme Court of the United States in 2017, the Supreme Court unanimously reaffirmed that there is no hate speech exception to the First Amendment, right? You cannot directly threaten to kill somebody. You cannot yell fire in a crowded theater with the intent to do harm. A few other very, very minor things as it relates to libel and slander. But yes, you can say mean things. Dave Rubin's an asshole. You can say that. There you go. Oh, God, now the trolls are going to take that one. You get it. You can say those things. Would I prefer that people not say that kind of thing? Yeah, I would. But here we are, okay? And it's better that way. But they want you. I mean, right there, that line right there should completely disqualify him. You either are lying or you have so little respect for the founding documents and you think that your base is so stupid, and I agree that they are, that you are willing to pull the wool over their eyes on our most important God-given guaranteed rights. But of course, it's not just him. Hillary Clinton, she's written, I think this is her 4th autobiography. I'm not kidding. It's coming out this week. It's either her 4th or her 5th autobiography. And so she's making the media rounds. And here she is talking about how she wants to jail you.
And boosting Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence. Because
oh, how about we civilly or perhaps criminally charge you with lying to us about COVID or very fine people or the litany of things, virtually everything you guys have lied about to us for years. Should we charge you criminally for those things? I would actually prefer not. I would prefer you can have your lies and we'll debunk them in real time. And that's the exchange with free speech. That's the thing about it. Anyway, we'll have more on the other side. But first, a word from our sponsor. G-Defy shoes are the absolute best choice for walking, running, and standing. If you're someone who loves being active or you simply spend a lot of time on your feet, these are the shoes for you. After balling all these years, I can confirm that G-Defy shoes are the best footwear I've used on the court. Every shoe contains G-Defy's patented Verso Shock technology, which aligns your body, absorbs harmful shock from the ground up, provides energy return, giving you the boost you deserve to walk like a champ. All of their shoes come with 2 free orthotics. G-Defy will support your active lifestyle, keeping you comfortable and free from discomfort. Go to gdefy.com and use code Rubin30 for an exclusive $30 off, $130 or more. That's gdefy.com and use code Rubin30 for $30 off orders of $130 or more. Pretty slick what we did there, right? Now back to me. All right, Hillary continued in that very same interview from the clip we just showed you. And if you think they're going to tone down that Trump is a dictator, Trump is Hitler, his supporters are Nazis, well, I have a bridge to sell you because they ain't going to do it.
He's still being taught, especially by the media, that the more offensive he is, the more he can dominate the media space entirely. And I feel like you've been a good diagnoser of that, not only from when you were up against him, but from what others have done. So do you have an antidote for that or a way that people can talk themselves out of taking that bait?
I think that's really a critical question, and I think there's a couple of things going on here. I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is. Well, the object in this case is Donald Trump. His demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world, and stick with it. Americans need to understand that they have to take Trump both seriously and literally. He has said what he wants to do. He and his allies with Project 2025, his desire to be a dictator, at least on day one, all of that is in the public record. And I believe that more Americans have to be, willing to endure what frankly is discomforting and to some extent kind of painful. We can't go back and give this very dangerous man another chance to do harm to our country and the world.
Who do you think you are, lady? The people are going to vote. It's also so interesting. She's angry that the press doesn't have a consistent narrative around Trump. It's funny, I'm old school. I thought the press was supposed to tell the truth. I didn't think that the press was supposed to fabricate narratives just to fit your political agenda, but clearly Hillary doesn't think the same thing. Also, the dictator line about one day of being a dictator, that was a joke. It was a joke, absolutely. Trump just at the freaking debate a week and a half ago, he just said that he has nothing to do with Project 2025. So they lie about everything. And then they have the media run cover for it. And then they also pass laws to make sure you can't make fun of them. Another thing that they do is no matter how many threats come against Donald Trump, they have to make it seem that the threats are equal. Here's a quick 6-second video. This is televised mental institution MSNBC host Willie Geist.
That something has to change here given the threats against former President Trump and, by the way, against Vice President Harris as well.
What threats against Harris? I don't want there to be any threats against Harris. I'm sure both of them have threats we don't know about, of course, obviously. But it's just a little trickery that they're doing there. Donald Trump basically has had 2 assassination attempts in 2 months. They are the ones that have ramped up this crazy rhetoric and are constantly saying that if he gets in charge, they're going to throw people in cages and all the rest of it. But it's just a little throwaway. That's why we only need to show you 6 seconds of it. It's just a throw. It's Trump, and Kamala Harris. And it's like, no, that's not the case. And I don't hear anyone on the right calling for violence against her or anything else. And yes, there are crazies all over the place. Anyway, I don't think over the last couple of days we've shown you a video from the crazy people over at The View, but here's a little bit of a compilation yesterday. They were all chatting about Donald Trump's, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, and they all, well, just go.
Can I reframe the conversation in a sense? Because they're saying the Democrats, the left side has to stop the rhetoric. And I think what we need to reframe this is what is rhetoric and what is fact. It is fine for you to say Donald Trump's plan is not a conceptual plan. It's Project 2025. That is not rhetoric.
If political violence is a prelude to fascism. Yep. That happens in every country. I'm not making this up. And it's time for Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Mike Johnson, and Mitch McConnell to step up and be men.
The difference is Donald Trump is one of the most powerful figures in America. He would very well be the president again. He is the only person with that level of responsibility and platform who's not holding himself accountable to how he's fed this rhetoric. If you look at the 2 assassination attempts, the first one was someone who shopped around for both candidates' location and found one that was convenient. The second one was a Trump supporter who had become really unhappy with Donald Trump and some of his decisions in Ukraine.
He voted for him.
Yeah.
Wait. Wait, that woman, the man, the second shooter was not a Trump supporter. That's yeah. So he voted for Trump in 2016 and in the last 5 years was radically against Trump. First was a Bernie bro. So there's all sorts of confusion there. Also, in essence, they're all saying, Trump, you've got to start being nicer and stop ramping up the rhetoric, while at the same time, Joy's calling him a fascist. Again, they just need a freaking mirror. That's all. And it's just absolutely incredible. Imagine if the script was flipped here, and twice in 2 months, God forbid, Kamala Harris or Joe Biden had been shot at or attempted assassinations on either one of them. Do you think that they would be doing the show being like, maybe they should ramp down the rhetoric and everything else? Of course, it's just absolutely crazy. And what they really want, when she calls out, when Joy's calling out Ted Cruz and Mike Johnson and the rest of them, it's like what they really want, they want a bunch of neutered, pathetic Republicans. So no one will ever actually win or accomplish anything, which is why they have Alyssa Farah there. Pet her on the head every now and again. She agrees with all of us, pretends she's a Republican, gets her cookie, cashes the check, and moves on. Let's move over to the White House, because diversity hire Karine Jean-Pierre was not happy with Fox News' Peter Doocy when he asked her about the violent rhetoric.
2 days since somebody allegedly tried to kill Donald Trump again. And you're here at the podium in the White House briefing room calling him a threat. How many more assassination attempts on Donald Trump until the president and the vice president and you pick a different word to describe Trump other than threat?
Peter, if anything from this administration, I actually completely disagree with the premise of your question, the question that you're asking. It is also incredibly dangerous in the way that you're asking it, because American people are watching. And to say that from an administration who has consistently condemned political violence, from an administration where the president called the former president and was thankful, grateful that he was okay, from an administration who has called out January 6th, called out the attack of Paul Pelosi, called out and said we need to lower the temperature after the Butler incident. And now for you to make that kind of comment in your question, because your question involved a comment and a statement. And, you know, it is, that is also incredibly dangerous. When
I love how belabored she is in her speaking because she knows she's just putting word after word after word. It's just drivel and nothing. She's accusing Peter Doocy of being dangerous. That was her word. Just asking if the Biden administration could lower the temperature, and that somehow is dangerous. Connor, do we have the flux capacitor ready with the computer over there? We do. And do we have 1.21 gigawatts of power that could maybe take us back to the future? We do have that sort of thing. And do you have a video that we might point to with that? We do have all of those things.
Donald Trump is an illusion.
Donald Trump is the greatest threat the world faces.
I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
That he should be put under the jail.
As long as Donald Trump is in the White House, our nation is in danger.
There needs to be unrest in the streets.
Don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
President Trump is a serious threat to U.S. national security.
Have to stand up against it and fight them.
Allegedly told the Secret Service he had driven from California to Las Vegas on June 16th to kill Trump.
Joe Biden becomes U.S. president, but how dangerous does Donald Trump remain?
What's going on in the Trump movement is terroristic.
It's Mad Max.
This is the insurrectionist president.
How dangerous Trump will remain.
President Trump is a con man.
This is a dangerous person and evil.
A man dressed to look like President Donald Trump gets stabbed to death on stage.
There's an extremist movement, the MAGA movement.
He's a punk, he's a dog, he's a pig, a mutt, this fool, this bozo. It makes me so angry.
What else do you suggest? Murder.
I will shoot Donald Trump Sr. and Barron Trump straight in the face.
If reelected, he will be a dictator.
And we cannot let that happen.
Should never again have the chance to stand behind a microphone.
I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Trump is a threat to this nation.
I mean, you guys see why they want to censor the internet. You see why they don't want people to be able to edit things and put them together, why they don't want any level of comedy even. That wasn't funny there, but comedy of ultimately illuminates some truth. You see why they are trying to control everything and why they can just keep lying over and over and over because they control the giant machine apparatus. Every now and again, though, something breaks through that. And this is really wonderful. Byron Donalds, who's congressman right down here, he's in Southwest Florida, Fort Myers area. He's been on the show a bunch of times. He went on CNN with Kate Bolduan yesterday, and he basically debunked the nonsense right to her face. And just watch, she can't do anything.
Kamala Harris in a debate last week, she lied about Donald Trump's bloodbath comments. Why did she say that? Because she wants to invoke a negative energy around the campaign of Donald Trump, frankly, to affect these undecided voters that we talked about at the top.
There
What
could
is
be
she
a lot
to
of
talk
fact.
about?
I mean,
The same,
Congressman, you and I have
but
gone
Kate,
back and
hold
forth
on.
a lot
The same
about
lie
like fact checking
Charlottesville.
that can happen.
Kate,
Yeah.
Kate, can you acknowledge that Kamala Harris lied about the Charlottesville comments again? Something that even Snopes has debunked and said is fake news, that it is wrong, that his statements were taken out of context. Those are the direct lies coming from Kamala Harris. So if you're going to talk about the invective put into this campaign that Kamala Harris and her campaign has done, trying to invoke a negative response from voters in our country versus Donald Trump talking about issues, whether it be in a city or, quite frankly, you could bring up Aurora, Colorado, or you could bring up Denver, Colorado, that have been overrun by illegal immigrants.
There are lots of things that can be brought up, which is also if you're talking.
You know, that is a really, really great clip. Byron Donalds did the absolute right thing, brings up repeated evidence for his arguments, very fine people and all that. And no, she can't move. She doesn't even move because she knows if she even nods when he says very fine people, right? If she even nods, it debunks everything that they have put on that network for years as it pertains to very fine people, which they've known was a lie the entire time. So great work, bravo, Byron Donalds. And you might wonder, it's like, well, how do these instances ever get on CNN? I referenced this yesterday or 2 days ago. It's like the reason that those moments happen is because they can't lie 100% all the time, because people, even their own people, even the own base of the Dems and the people who watch CNN, some of them still have a flicker of something going on in their brain. So every now and again, you got to show them something that's congruent with reality. Otherwise, they'll get the trick too. Let's talk about home title lock, and then we'll get to it on the other side. I want to tell you guys about a crime happening in the United States called house stealing, also known as title theft, where criminals can transfer your home's title into their name with just a single document and wipe out your equity without you even knowing. Many of you know I recently moved to Florida, which, like all other states, has become a hotbed for these crimes. In Sarasota, Home Title Lock caught a cyber thief from New York trying to sell a family's property on a popular real estate website. The thief had fraudulently changed the title, but Home Title Lock quickly detected it and restored the title back to the rightful owner. Imagine if they hadn't been subscribed to Home Title Lock. It could have been disastrous. If you're not monitoring your title, these criminals can get away with this, leaving you, the homeowner, to deal with the aftermath in court. The best way to protect your equity is with triple lock protection from our friends at Home Title Lock. Triple lock is 24/7 monitoring, alerts, and restoration services. Sign up today by going to HomeTitleLock.com and the promo code Rubin, and you'll get the first 30 days of triple lock protection absolutely free and a complete title scan of your home's title so you can make sure your home hasn't already been compromised. That's 30 days free and a title report for using the promo code Rubin at HomeTitleLock.com. All right, so while all this drama is unfolding around Donald Trump almost getting killed again, and then them lying about it and running cover for it and blaming him for almost getting shot, Donald Trump is back out there as he is every freaking day. As Vivek said to me the other day, he's just wired differently, and he's out there. He shows no signs of fear. He shows no, like, you would just imagine if you were shot at, any of us. I'm not even talking if you were in a public person. Imagine if you were at a store, there was a shooting. Like, you might not want to go to the store for a couple of days, but the guy is just out there. It's actually incredible, truly. Here he is at an event, I think this is in Arkansas, with Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and here he is talking about why they're trying to kill him.
And then you wonder why it gets shot at, right? You know, only consequential presidents get shot at. When I say something like that, you have countries saying this guy, but what can you do? You have to do what you have to do, right? We have to be brave. Otherwise, we're not going to have a country left.
You know, it's like, it's so simple what he's saying, and that's why it's right. It's like, what can you do? You have to do what you have to do. Like, he's in on it. He's in on the thing. You have to do what you have to do. Again, the guy could freaking retire, never be heard from again, live whatever life he ever wanted on any island, be served caviar every meal for the rest of his life, and play golf, and yet he's doing this. And I think the way he just said it right there is exactly what the truth is. You have to do what you have to do, and we have to be brave. Otherwise, that's it. That's it. I guess in his mind, he probably thinks that if he was to do that and disappear and eat caviar all the time and play golf all the time and just completely check out, that the war still will come to him. And that is likely. Like, it's here, whether we like it or not. So all the Democrats have right now is to run on Trump as evil, fascist, Nazi, et cetera, and make up this nonsense about Project 2025, which he's repeatedly said is not part of his campaign. And then, of course, they'll send out Kamala Harris to do ridiculous softball interviews where she can lie and conflate and confuse. And, well, take a look.
Do you have full confidence in the Secret Service to protect all of you?
I do.
You feel safe for you and your family?
I do. But, I mean, you can go back to Ohio. Not everybody has Secret Service. And there are far too many people in our country right now who are not feeling safe. I mean, I look at Project 2025, and I look at, you know, like the Don't Say Gay laws coming out of Florida. Members of the LGBTQ community don't feel safe right now. Immigrants or people with an immigrant background don't feel safe right now. Women don't feel safe right now. And so, yes, I feel safe. I have Secret Service protection. But that doesn't change my perspective on the importance of fighting for the safety of everybody in our country.
As always, just meaningless dribble. Project 2025 again, and then don't say gay. Like, they still are laundering the lies. They're still, I'm in Florida right now. Gay, bisexual, trans, fabulous, fierce, Give me another word. Lesbian. Slay queen. I'm basically doing, what was that guy on Hollywood Squares in the 70s? Paul Lynde. Oh my God. Look, nobody's coming to get me. It's okay. And I'll do this out. I'm going to take Clyde for a walk later. I walk down my streets just, yay. And people are like, what the hell's wrong with that guy? But nobody's coming for me. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this woman's a lesbian, this Billie person. All right, so Billie Eilish, she's a singer. Here she is with her brother, who I guess runs some of her songs. If you want to just see how Hollywood also confuses young people about the issues, they're very excited to vote for Kamala Harris. Yay!
Today is National Voter Registration Day, and we are asking you to please join us in going to iwillvote.com to check your status and vote early like we do.
We are voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because they are fighting to protect our reproductive freedom, our planet, and our democracy.
We can't let extremists control our lives, our freedoms, and our future. The only way to stop them and the dangerous Project 2025 agenda is to vote and elect Kamala Harris.
Vote like your life depends on it, because it does.
Go to iwillvote.com and make a plan to vote early.
Love you guys.
I just honestly, at this point, I cannot believe that these celebrities still put out these ridiculous videos. She's going to protect the planet and our reproductive freedom. Anyway, so that's the celebrity version of it. Let's find what it's like when someone asks regular, on the street Kamala Harris supporters why they support her. I love this.
For Kamala, what do you think? Trump or Kamala Harris?
Oh, God, it's Kamala, definitely.
Yes?
1,000%.
Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your favorite thing Kamala's done in the last 4 years?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Actually, don't use this.
Oh, Kamala.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Kamala.
Kamala, why?
Well, she's... Honestly, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super knowledgeable, so I can't really speak too much on it.
Because Trump sucks ass.
Yeah, pretty much same thing.
I've been doing my research lately.
Yeah.
So I ain't 100% yet, so I can't answer that yet.
That's a no-brainer.
All right.
She's a woman. She's a woman.
Yes. How's it been selling? Good?
Oh no, we just had a bunch of police that told us to burn our shirts.
I mean, that's great. I'm going to start saying police like that. Police. That's how I'm going to do it from now on. But the point is, that's just so indicative. First off, good work, Benny Johnson. But that's just so indicative of what's going on here. I'm voting for her, a woman. I'm voting for her. I don't know why I'm voting for her. I'm voting for her. Oh, I haven't done my research. Like, that's not that far off of what the average Kamala Harris supporter is like at this point. We'll talk more about the Democrats in just a moment. But here's a little something from our friends at Lumen. Let me tell you guys about Lumen. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs and gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and even stress management. Your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into the fuel that keeps you going. Because your metabolism is the center of everything your body does, optimal metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, and more. So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me/Rubin to get 15% off your Lumen, or just click the link below. That's lumen.me/Rubin for 15% off your purchase. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode. All right, guys, so I want to jump over now. Let's see the results of some Democrat policies. People don't know why they're voting for her and all that. So what are the results of some Democrat policies? Well, the big thing over the last 2 weeks, outside of the second assassination attempt, was what's going on in Springfield, Ohio. Are they eating cats? Are they beheading geese? Who's banging a duck? Like, what the hell is going on over there? Well, the media has been telling us that nothing's going on over there. They put 20,000 Haitians there and everything's freaking spectacular. Even in the debate, David Muir was like, well, we called the city manager and he said there's no such evidence of nothing. That's funny because this video has now been surfaced. This is March of 2024, a Springfield resident talking about what's going on over there and the city manager commenting on it.
Our traditions, laws, and culture is 180 degrees different of what they're used to. And one of the things that I heard that bothered me very much, I've actually had quite a few people contact me here lately, is some pretty horrid things occurring to domesticated animals in the neighborhood. We've had some stuff in the park that, again, they're being taken advantage of for reasons other than, and if You shake your head, Brian.
No. I asked me if there was proof. I just don't have proof of it. We've heard the same thing.
People that have confided in me have asked me for anonymity. I can't give their names up.
I mean, we haven't seen the proof that you're telling me, and I've heard about it too.
Yeah.
So there's the city manager saying he's heard these stories too. So look, I don't know exactly what's going on there, but this is from March of 2024. The media is telling you there's nothing to see there. But do you think the guy that showed up to that town meeting to say, there's some weird stuff going on with the animals and people are confining me and they want their anonymity, because of course they want their anonymity, because the media will call them racists if you say, oh, somebody banged my cat and beheaded my duck, they're going to tell you you're racist and nobody wants that. Let's go to a celebrity, because they are always so wise and thoughtful. John Legend, singer, is apparently from Springfield, Ohio, and he put this video out telling the people of Springfield to shut up and take it.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Legend, and I was born as John R. Stevens from a place called Springfield, Ohio. Oh, Springfield, Ohio. You may have heard of Springfield, Ohio this week. In fact, if you watched the debate, we were discussed by our presidential candidates, including a very special, interesting man named Donald J. Trump. Now, Springfield has had a large influx of Haitian immigrants who have come to our city. So there are plenty of reasons why this might be a challenge for my hometown. But the bottom line is these people came to Springfield because there were jobs for them and they were willing to work. They are hardworking. They're ambitious. They commit less crime than native-born Americans. And they will assimilate and integrate in time, but it takes time. So I think all of us need to have the same kind of grace.
Oh, it's so interesting. So he wants them to have grace. Now, again, I don't know exactly what's going on there, but I do know that John Legend, who we just checked, is worth $100 million and lives in an $18 million mansion that was featured in Architectural Digest. I think we have a little picture of that. Looks. I don't think they build houses like that in Springfield, Ohio. As a matter of fact, I checked on Zillow right before the show. The most expensive house in Springfield is $2 million, so he could buy about 50 of them with his cash. And actually, you can buy a lot more because you can borrow on it too. But notice he doesn't want them to come to Beverly Hills, where he lives now. I'm sure that they need some people to clean up the streets of Beverly Hills. They need some people to do the jobs of Beverly Hills, but he doesn't want them. But he wants those people from the place that he left a long time ago before he had money. They better suck it up. And what he's doing is what they do with everything. They are making you feel guilty about things you should not feel guilty about, and they are bludgeoning you with skin color, something that none of us should care about. I think we've showed you this video once before. This is Camille Paglia. This is just absolutely wonderful, and this is the attitude we should have. This is on the Charlie Rose show from probably 15, 20 years ago. Go.
Enlightened multiculturalism.
Okay, I'm totally opposed to any politicized agenda in the classroom, okay? I do not want this crappy melodrama being taught to our students that Western civilization is filled with evil patriarchs and out there are the wonderful people of color, okay?
Well, but I don't think anyone that I know of that believes that well, just think of what you just said.
The new
think of what you
historicists,
said.
listen, you don't know, Stephen Greenblatt, the new historicists, okay, I mean, my God, every word out of their mouth is about the evil of Western culture. You don't know how bad
Western
it is.
culture is evil,
Yeah,
and
you don't know how bad
Asian
it is.
or African culture is unflawed.
These people in the who have control of the university's humanities departments now do not believe in great art. Okay, they do not. They believe the dead white European.
It's really incredible watching that because, again, that was 15 or 20 years ago. And it's like, look at our universities now. There were people warning about this. This is exactly where we are at. And then when these ideologies take root, then insanity is basically, is just spurred on everywhere because it's not just Springfield, Ohio. It's all over the country right now. Check out this headline from the New York Post. Judge finds woman incompetent to stand trial in fatal stabbing of 3-year-old outside of supermarket. Let's jump a little bit more. Here's an account on Twitter that I really like. It's called @leftism. And they were commenting on that story. Derek Chauvin is currently sitting in jail for lawfully detaining a criminal who was on drugs, according to the medical examiner, and according to the medical examiner, overdosed. all because a mob of bloodthirsty psychos filled the streets outside the courthouse in order to intimidate the jurors, as well as the media and leftist politicians egging them on and calling for his head. Obviously, this is about the George Floyd incident. Yet this POS who murdered a 3-year-old is apparently too mentally incompetent to stand trial. We have a two-tier justice system. And you guys get it. Like, this is where we are at this point, because this woke ideology will destroy everything. It'll destroy meritocracy as it comes to hiring and who can get into what school. And then it will destroy every other societal norm. And well, don't take my word for it. I think we're showing you the evidence of it. Caitlin Collins is a woman who purports to be a journalist over on CNN. But years ago, she was not on CNN. And here she is on Fox back in 2017, before going over to CNN, actually making some sense as it pertains to BLM, George Soros, wokeness, and all of the stuff.
The Open Society Foundation has given over $500,000 to Black Lives Matter because they want to be able to support Black Lives Matter as it grows. They're worried, that they won't know how to grow properly, and they want to help them dismantle structural inequality. That was in one of the memos that was released in the data dump.
What does that mean?
They basically want to help Black Lives Matter further their agenda. And I think it's an issue also that the Democratic Party needs to address, because so many Democrats have openly endorsed Black Lives Matter. And now that we see that this guy who is funding Hillary Clinton is also funding Black Lives Matter, that's a problem, and that's something that Americans should be aware of.
Absolutely. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. Caitlin Collins from the Daily Caller, thank you very much.
I suspect that Caitlin Collins, formerly of the Daily Caller, now over at CNN, would not say any of that now, but prove me wrong, Caitlin Collins, will give you a chance. Why am I showing you this? Why am I talking to you about all this? Because, guys, it does not have to be this way. We can live in places that have respect for our founding documents and love of country and have functional, decent systems of law and order and everything else. There's a place, a very special place. The sun is shining today, and yes, I'm talking about Florida, where we're doing it right all the time. And I'm not sitting here to brag about it. I'm trying to show you the blueprint, as Ron DeSantis often talks about. So check this out. There was an 11-year-old kid who who was bragging about a kill list that he had and put up these pictures of all these weapons that he had. Guess what the Florida cops did? Well, they gave him a little perp walk and made an example out of him, because you can do things right and show people that, no, we're not going to put up with this nonsense. Take a look.
All right, sir, careful as you can. You're going to be walking over here to the gate over here, all right? Slow and steady. What you here for today?
Put that foot down. Let me get the other foot. All right, come on in here. Have a seat in the cell. We're going to gather up some paperwork and get things started for you. Do you have any questions? No, sir. All right.
What we're going to start doing Monday is, since parents, you don't want to raise your kids, I'm going to start raising them. Every time we make an arrest, your kid's photo is going to be put out there. And if I could do it, I'm going to perp walk your kid so that everybody can see what your kid's up to.
Okay, so that's how it's working in Florida. Now I want to say something. That kid's 11 years old. God only knows what screwed up his brain, or what the parents did, or the neglect, or whatever that led him to putting up this kill list, collecting all these weapons and everything else. So I actually have a lot of sympathy for this kid in the sort of broader sense around what will now happen to his life and everything else. But do you see what they're trying to do here? What the police are trying to do? They're saying, we will not put up with this. And we know that these kids are all screwed up, but it's on the parents. So we are going to do everything within the law. Notice they weren't abusing the kid, right? They didn't hit the kid or anything else. The guy said, do you have any questions? Again, where's the kid's parents? Where are the lawyers? All of those things. But it does not have to be this way. So where does this all leave us? Where does this leave us with a group of people now who don't understand what our founding documents are, who are trying to hatchet away at them, who are completely weak and dependent on the system? Well, you guys know this incredibly famous meme from probably 100 years old or something. I just love this. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. And that's sort of where we're at right now. Weak men have created hard times. That's what we are up against right now. And if we don't push back on this stuff while we can, it will get much worse. Jordan Peterson.
World was turned into
one group against another, power struggle from one group against another. And then the social justice warrior types and the lefties, even the Democratic Party, started categorizing everybody according to their ethnic or sexual or racial identity and made that the canonical element of their being. And that's an absolutely terrible thing to do. It leads to, in the Soviet Union, when that happened, for example, when they introduced that idea along with the notion of class guilt. So, for example, when the Soviets collectivized the farms, they pretty much wiped out or raped and froze to death all of their competent farmers. They called them kulaks, and they attributed class guilt to them because they were successful peasants, and they defined their success as oppression and theft. They killed all of them, pretty much, shipped them off to Siberia and froze them to death, and they were the productive agriculturalists in the Soviet Union. And then in the 1930s in the Ukraine, because of that, about 6 million Ukrainians starved to death. But the Soviets were big on collective guilt. And all of these things that you hear about now, like white privilege, for example, they're variants of collective guilt. I pick your bloody identity, whatever it happens to be, and then I make you a guilty member of that category, and then you and the rest of the guilty members of that category are judged as a unit. It's absolutely, it's murderous pushed to its extreme.
Yeah, it is murderous pushed to its extreme, which might be why twice in the last 2 months we've seen assassination attempts on Donald Trump, why we are constantly demonizing people based on their sexuality or skin color or the rest of it, why we are unearthing ancient hatreds that we had long gotten rid of, why we are decimating the founding of this country that is the most precious freaking thing in the history of the world. So pick a side, ladies and gentlemen. I said we had to do this in 45 minutes. It's 46:05. I thank you for watching. I will be live with Megyn Kelly in just a moment, and no post-game show today. Quick little, I think, I don't want to get in trouble with the people of California. I think we're going to cold close with the deep fake, but who am I to know? Yeah.
How does a brother survive jail without being Epsteined?
Well, since you have a lot of shit on us, we're probably going to get you Epsteined as soon as you go to sleep. But hey, at least you won't have to shower, am I right? So anyway, enjoy your last meal, Puffy.
It's a crazy world.